Hey folks, my name is Anton Lukyanenko. I'm the director of the Mason Experimental Geometry Lab. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. The main thing that we do at the Geometry Lab is math research. So what we do is we take interesting questions that nobody has really thought about in mathematics. Turns out there's a lot of them. We've been thinking about mathematics for several thousand years, and there's still a lot of stuff that we don't know. And what we do is we explore those questions with your help. So we have research groups that consist of usually 3 undergraduate students, 1 graduate student that knows a little bit more about the background of the project, and 1 professor that leads the team. And what we do is we take the project that the professor suggests, we have you read up on it, maybe take some of the objects that you're thinking about, 3D print them so that you can actually have an idea of what they look like, what they might behave like. And then we ask questions like, if you look at something like this, it's called a knot. We ask, what kind of knots are there out there? How can a knot be knotted up? If you have different arrangements of the same knot, how do you tell that they're the same knot? Turns out that it's a really complicated question that leads into all sorts of questions in geometry, algebra, analysis, all sorts of topics. And what we do is we 3D print these things, and then we take a computational approach and run calculations, which is great for preparing you both for research in academia if you want to go that route, and for industry jobs, because we teach you how to use a lot of software, we teach you how to think really hard about really complicated problems. And then we also take a computational approach, a visualizational approach, where we say, go at it and find things that you find interesting and show them to us. So this is actually an object that one of our students made a couple of years ago. He was just playing around in the lab and found a really cool way of visualizing the Mobius band. Usually you just kind of take a strip of paper and glue it to itself with a twist. That you might have seen that as the Mobius band. He found a really beautiful embedding of the Mobius band in 3D and made some 3D sculptures of it. I believe he even ended up emailing the professor that initially came up with this embedding and provided some feedback on the way it was designed. So we have a lot of kind of in-depth, deep research and more exploratory things where you can just play around with mathematics and see where it takes you. We have projects that are very theoretical, and we have projects that are very applied. We have a project right now on modeling COVID and the way that it spreads based on different factors influencing the way people get sick. We have a project on the way icebergs float. If you imagine different shapes for icebergs floating in the water, as they melt, they might change their shape in different ways. So finding a way to model that to predict the way that the shape evolves over time. We had a project a semester or 2 ago on self-driving cars and finding the trajectories that those cars might follow and finding optimal trajectories if you have a fleet of vehicles moving together. And at the same time, we have projects on, test ideals from Macaulay rings and very theoretical topics that I have no idea what they're all about. So I'm very excited to hear every semester when our students present at the end of the semester. I'm always excited to hear what it is that they've been doing and what progress they've made. Alongside with research, I want to tell you guys that we also provide career development. So we talk about various fellowships you might apply for. We send you to conferences so that you can present your work. We talk to you about applying for graduate school. So there's a lot of kind of community input. You get to talk to a lot of other nerds that are interested in these math topics. So there's a lot of just learning from each other. On top of all that, you get outreach opportunities. So if you're into going out into the community and telling elementary schoolers about infinity and what that means, we've got an activity for that. We've got an activity called Real Big Numbers, where we count ping pong balls. We've got a bin of 1,000 ping pong balls, and we ask the 5th graders, how quickly can you count them? It turns out if you count them 1 by 1, that takes forever, but if you go 1, 2, 4, 8, and you count exponentially, it turns out that's really quick. So if you want to go out there and show exciting things to elementary schoolers, we've got that for you as well. So check us out. We're at science.gmu.edu/MEGL, that's MEGL, and we're the Mason Experimental Geometry Lab. Look forward to seeing you.